Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For this selection, or this time around, I'm going to use the Thelema Tarot for the tarot part. There was more information. At the bottom here is there's a website. So I think it's Los Garibo. I'm not good with pronouncing things. I feel like it's quite obvious to people who watch a lot. But there's the spelling, because if you want to find it or get more information, go ahead, go on there and check out whatever you want to check out. I don't recall last time I was on that site, so it could be some cool stuff. Supportive Oracle Cards, Spellcasting Oracle Cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lisbeth. There are their full names if you want to check them out individually. There are some websites on the back here. She Who Is Art is what stops or jumps out to me. And the dice are the same dice. They're metal dice. They're from Amazon. So if there's anything on that, they're from Amazon. I don't think there's a specific website on there, is there? Just Amazon, D&D. So if you want to find metal dice, I use the 20, the 4, and the 12. The 20 is for the major arcana, which obviously it's missing number 21, which would be the world, if my brain is working. And then for the minor arcana, the 12 I use from ace up to knight. So it's missing the king and queen, but still works. And the 4 I use for which element it is. And I go in the order of the zodiac. So the first, since Aries is the first, I use fire for 1, earth for 2, air for 3, and then water for 4, in case you're wondering. Okay. Thank you for checking out this part, and now on to your read. Hello, Cancer. Thank you for tuning in to this week's read. This reading is valid for whenever you come to it. That being said, what do we have for Cancer? Oh, that's interesting. Something is trying to release itself, which might be good for you. Wow. Okay. There's a lot. I just feel like there's a lot. It feels like a lot, but this might try to release itself is what I keep getting. Which, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's really good. If this can just release itself, because you got the devil in the past. So this may be when I'm getting this, if this reading is going to hit, it's something either you don't want to get away from because there's certain connections. Maybe it's a partner in the sense of there's a lot of downsides with this partner, but there's a lot of other things that keep you connected, and you're like, well, I'm in for this. I've decided I was in this for the long haul, and I've refused to walk away. You may have a lot of good reasons to, but you just don't. This could be a job that has a lot of benefits, but there's a lot of toxicity around this situation. It's something where it's been difficult. It's been difficult for quite a while. You do survive through it. You do seem to kind of make it work to your best advantage. You work it out the best you can. You're like, well, that's going on, but this is what I want. So you make it work out. You make it work out. It's a lot of effort on your side. A lot of effort. And you put up with a lot of things. You do consider walking away from it. This is something that you do consider seriously on occasion walking away from, but for whatever reason you've decided you just haven't. So far you haven't. So far you haven't. Doesn't mean you won't at some point, but so far you haven't. It does feel kind of it feels stale. I would say stale. I don't know if stuck is the fair way to put it. I feel stale. You know what I mean? Where it's just stale. It is what it is. It's stale. You do keep putting in effort though, and you try to see it from a few different angles. You put a lot of serious thought into it is what I'm also getting. A lot of serious thought, like if I do this, where does that go? If I don't do this, where does that go? It probably is in your thoughts more than not. Through a day, at least twice, I would say you probably think of this situation. Maybe not for very long, but you do think of it. And it's kind of the negative to you maybe feels so heavy that you kind of feel like maybe you're trapped in this situation. The attachment card sometimes has an 8 of Swords feeling in my opinion. You don't have the Eight of Swords out here. But it's kind of like saying, I feel like I have to put up with this. Do I technically? No, but I feel like I have to, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, could you physically make it end and go away from it? You could. Especially, for example, if we're going to use a job as a thing. Could you quit your job? Technically, yes. Would that have some repercussions you would not really care for? Definitely. And that might be where you're kind of like, well, yeah, if I quit it, but then I got all this going on, and then how am I going to deal with that? So I keep dealing with this toxic job for this reason, and I feel like I have to. Could you technically stop it? Yes, but it's very heavy. And you keep doing what you have to do. I feel like you've gotten used to certain things, and you've like balanced it out, kind of like, all right, I know that's going to happen, so I've prepared myself. It's kind of like, I know I'm going to have to walk through this cold rain, so I put on my raincoat, and I got the car started, so it's going to take, I have to get over there and do it, and I have to do this. I can deal with it. I don't like it, but I can deal with it. You've been working it out. Okay, we've gone on a lot about this. So I feel like if this reading is hitting, you already know if this is hitting for you or not. So there's another level coming in. Whatever this situation is, could be a person, could be a job, could be a coworker, whatever it is, the element that's giving you the stress, be it a person or a situation, the element giving you the stress is going to start, their burden is going to get a bit heavier. Okay, so it's going to get heavier. This seems to be an opportunity. An opportunity is starting to peek through. I keep seeing this. It makes me, this is not the Sun card, but I also keep getting that feeling like something is coming through, a possibility is coming through for change. In this situation, you may be more open to change than usual, as long as you can see it coming and you can kind of choose where you want to go. An option, a possibility for change is coming. Okay. Now, your connection to this, ironically, and the reason I say ironically is because of the choices I see you coming up with here. There's effort coming in on your side. You're definitely going to put effort in. The question is, where's this effort going to go? And this may sound counterintuitive. It may even sound selfish, but I promise you it's not. Because whatever this situation is, it feels like if this is hitting, it's been putting a lot of stress on you for a long time. So what they're saying is, go within, look out for yourself on this situation, and do what you want. Go towards what makes you happy. So for example, if this is a job, make sure that you can't help out at that job. Whatever you got to do not bend over backwards and do not do anything beyond the normal to help the situation correct. It may seem selfish, but I promise you it's not, because I feel like if this reading is hitting, it's been overwhelming and it's probably taken way more from you than it ever should have. This reminds me of a job where you put in 100% and they demand 150. Or you put in 100% and they pay you as if you're putting in 50%. Or like it's one of those jobs, if it's going to be a job, I'm going to do this, hopefully this is the last analogy. It's like you and 5 other people all get paid the same, but you're the one who comes in early. You're the one that makes sure all the deadlines are met. You're the one who stays late if it doesn't work out, and everybody else goes home. And nobody else pulls half the stuff you do, does half the stuff you do. So they're saying this is one of those moments where if you want this to go better, you got to kind of like look out for you and pull back and not help this other person. Ironically, if you do, and your heart's going to go out to them, you're going to perpetuate this situation even longer. If you help like that, it will perpetuate the situation even longer. It does not help change. It keeps things the same. So, long story short, if this reading is hitting for you, I feel like this is really stressful and you put in way too much. If you keep doing that and you even put yourself out there even more because your heart is into it for whatever, you're like, I feel like I have to, I don't, I can understand being overwhelmed, even though you already are, you're going to perpetuate the situation. It's not going to change. So if you don't, I guess this is like your heads up, if you decided you really don't want this to change, that's how to keep this from changing. Put yourself out there way more, spread yourself way too thin. I mean, you'll succeed, but you'll still spread yourself thin. and the situation will keep going. If you don't, if you pull back and retract, that's where the opportunity can come in. That's where the balance you've been putting in starts to pay to your favor. Because whatever is going on here, I keep getting that you're doing, it's kind of, again, I keep getting like this office analogy, like there's you and 5 other people, and you're doing 150% of what should be done. Everybody else is skating by with 50%. It's not that the other people are wrong, it's just that if everybody else is being, if you're all being paid the same, there's 6 of you all being paid the same, and they're all doing 50%, you should be doing 50% too. Even if you're like, well, you know, my quality means a lot to me, okay, 100%, then do, and you've probably been doing 100% this whole time, keep it at 100%. Do not go to 150. Let this situation figure itself out. Do not go to 150. Stay at 100, and they're like listen, this is all you can get. Can't get blood from a stone. I'm not doing any extra. Go look out for you. Do for you. Hold back for you. This might be one of those things where you feel like you're holding back. Do that. If you want this situation to improve, do that. Because when you hold back, it's very ironic. Because this whole situation goes through this metamorphosis. Because I get like it becomes way overwhelming for whoever you're dealing with. And things have to change, but everything has to change. It's almost like, you know, if you've been doing 100%, other 5 people have been doing 50%, whether it's right or not, that's what's been going on. The situation becomes overwhelming. They have to like revisit it, look at it again, and then they start changing what everybody has to do. This will be your opportunity to go down to 75%, and everybody else has to come up to 75%. You feel like you're doing less, but that's what's fair. Everybody else has to do a little bit more, but that's what's fair. And things will rebalance. This 2 of Swords, let me just do the dice on that. Because that 2 of Swords, I just want to be fair. Because I feel like it's a block that's going to be lifted for you, but let's just be fair. Temperance coming in, and then the 2 of Wands reversed. Somebody else is going to have to make a change. Somebody else is going to have to make a change. There's this block. Something changes. Like there's a whole restructuring of the situation. Because it's kind of like you're starting with the 3 of Cups. People who get along not liking what's happening. People who get along feeling like they're overburdened. And this is way too much. This is way too much. This is way too much. That becomes a block. They want to solve that block. That block benefits everybody with this 2 of Cups. That's the progression I'm getting. People who get along feel like they're being overburdened. They don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like it. So a quick decision isn't going to solve this. The 2 of Wands reversed is like the failure of a quick decision, in my opinion. The Temperance card is telling me that things have to keep moving. So when the block is hit, they're like, well, we can't just stand here and look at each other. We can't just stand here and look at each other or stare at each other, whatever you want to say. We got to do something. How do we got to rebuild the whole thing. We have to realign everything so everything balances out correctly for everybody, and that everybody is accountable for what they need to be accountable for. And if they're not, then there's repercussions for that. Again, you're already doing 100%, is what I keep getting. The things that everybody is accountable for is like 75% compared to your 100%. So of the other 5 people, they all have to come up to this level of 75%. You, on the other hand, have to allow yourself to go down to 75%, which I feel like you'll be okay with. And that will be your victory. I almost said that, my friend, is your victory. So there we go. I said it that way this time. You can have this victory. It's ironic that it's the holding back that will make this happen. And I feel like for Cancer, when this comes into play, the reason it would be hard for you is because you're very devoted. You're very loyal to what you're a part of. And it may be like counterintuitive for you to do that. Even though you're not happy with the situation, it's kind of like, yeah, but I'm loyal to it and I want it to succeed. It'll succeed, but you got to hold back so people see the injustices here and they balance it out the way it should be. And then everybody's doing the balance. Like the balance is actually working out. The balance that you're trying to create actually happens because they're not happy with what they have to do. So it's rebalanced. Your load comes down, their load goes up the way it should, so it's actually balanced, and everybody's a lot happier. Well, You're a lot happier because sometimes people get away with not doing as much as they should, and they get a little too used to that. But that's a whole nother story. But you can have victory. Listen, it's your read. You should have victory. Have your victory. Have some victory. Anything else? All right, I think we're there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much again for watching, and have a great day.